You've got to hold and give and do it at the right time, and the right time is now. Mere days after we gave you our team of the seasons to now give you our underrated team of the seasons, so it can include all the people you had a go at us for not putting in our team of the seasons. I'm Ross Tweddell, joined by El Sausage Kingo and Opta Joel on the end there, and we're here to talk some underrated footballers. There's no real set rules for these teams, but Joel was thinking, like, what are the parameters of what we're going to talk about today? Do you want to put them towards the camera?
Well, it's tricky to define, isn't it? It's mostly just players that no one's talking about, I guess.
Yeah. Or outside the big six.
Yeah. Did we clarify that?
No, we didn't. I'm just saying it's underrated is open to interpretation.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
suppose so, yeah.
Basically, players that just were good this season, but you just couldn't fit them into the team of the season.
To the tippy-toppy
So
team of
this
the
is
season.
the B team of the season.
Nope, that's not the way to put it, Owen. That's a slap in the face to all these great professionals who put their bodies on the line every single weekend. Anyway, we'll move on to Joel's team straight away. We might as well get cracking with the knacking.
Ooh.
Joel, here is your underrated 11 for the 2022-2023
Sure
season. Let's run through what you've picked and why you've picked them.
All right, well, let's start in net. I've got David Raya. He has been, Brentford as a whole have been pretty solid defensively this season, especially at home. And Raya has made the most saves out of any keeper in the league this season. He's got 11 clean sheets, which is tied with Edison.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I went with him. I almost went for Leno because I think he's a bit more like no one's really talking about. People are talking about David Raya as like a class keeper that United might want to sign and stuff. No one's really talking about how good a season Leno had, but Raya has just been.
He's been great on FPL, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Raya.
Which, of course, is the only
it's-
problem.
That's what matters.
that's all that matters. Yeah.
He really has established himself as one of the better keepers in the league this season, I think. Because I remember when he was at Blackburn, he was a bit of a flapper, bit of a flippy flapper. But this year he comes for crosses. He's good with his feet, which all modern managers want apparently for some reason.
Yeah, well, that's why he's linked
essential.
with United so heavily as the De Gea replacement because he is so good at with his feet.
No one wants De Gea, but he's got 17 clean sheets, hasn't he?
To be fair, it feels like Raya, and I don't know about statistically if this is true or not, it feels like he makes less mistakes than De Gea. And he's a fantastic
I'd say so.
shot stopper as well. I watched the Spurs game that they won quite handsomely. I predicted 1-0 to Spurs because they won 6 at the last day at home before that game. And he made a world-class double save. I forget who it was against in the second half. But yeah, I agree with that pick.
Yes. He's a good lad.
All right, we'll start with right back. I've got Ben White, which I know Arsenal are second in the league, so it's not really that underrated. But I think when people talk about Arsenal, they talk about Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko in the back line. No one really mentions White, but I think he's been great this season. He's played almost every game when the others have been injured. He's taken Tomiyasu's place, and he's got goal threat as well. He's scored a couple and got a handful of assists. So
he's a better ball player. That sounded weird to say. You know what I mean? Though with the ball at his feet, he's better than most centre. He's a centre half by trade, which is why I think he's in the conversation for underrated.
I've got it down here. Spoilers for my team, but he's got 2 goals and 5 assists. Ben White,
it's decent that.
And when they're going forward and doing the ticky-tacky stuff down the right-hand side with Saka, he's always up there, isn't he? Playing 1-2s and whatnot, buckle my shoes. 3-4, knock at the door.
I'd never seen him as a right back in the day. When he was at Brighton, I'd never seen him as a right back. And when he signed for Arsenal, I always thought he was going to be one of their centre backs. But so to see him right back and actually doing quite well in the position, because it's not his natural position, he's it's impressive.
Yeah,
good pick, Joel.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Well done, Joel.
All right, centre backs. I've gone with Ben Mee and Lewis Dunk. Are they both? I think they're both captains of the team. I think Dunk is, isn't he?
Dunk's definitely the captain. Ben Mee. Well, he only joined Brentford this year.
Pinnock? I don't know.
I don't think
Ethan Pinnock.
I don't know if Ben Mee is
Not
captain.
sure.
He only joined this summer.
Dunk has made the most passes out of any player in the league this season.
Do you know what that is, Joel? Because he takes goal kicks to his goalkeeper.
Yes.
Something that was displayed at St
True,
James's
yeah.
Park last week many times. And West City the day after Brighton got that point against Manchester City at home. And they were doing it last night as well.
Aye.
It's
Scandalous behaviour.
It's the De Zerbi way.
It's weird though.
It's the Dunk
it doesn't
way.
work.
It does.
No, it
Look,
doesn't.
they're doing well.
Sometimes
I guess it depends who you're playing. When you're playing against the world class press of Newcastle, you're not going to get out there.
It's weird on Brighton because sometimes they have capitulated this season and conceded 5 to Everton and stuff. But I think the majority of the time they've been pretty solid defensively.
And he's got himself back in the England squad for the first time in 4 years.
Yep.
So he's doing all right when
Impressive.
you think about centre half positions in England's squad being one less than it should be because Harry Maguire is stuck there somehow.
Yeah,
You can't get rid of him for love nor money. He's super glued to the bench somehow.
Yeah.
Gareth loves him. I see you
Gareth
got
does, doesn't
Estepinian at left back there, who
I
was in my
do.
team of the season.
Yeah. Well,
I would argue he doesn't count.
Why?
Ooh.
Because too many people talk about him. He's in either.
I
I
didn't
forget.
think
He was
many
in
people
my
talked about
he was
him
in my
all.
team of the season.
He's in Owen's team.
He was in Gary
thought it was only
Neville's.
you.
He was in Gary Neville's team.
Or
Yeah, I didn't
Carragher's,
realise
one of
that.
the two.
I think it was Neville.
Yeah, well, I didn't think he was as popular as he is, but
So if this
Yeah,
was
fair
Britain's
enough.
Got Talent, I'd be hitting me buzzer. I'd be going.
all right. Well, my other pick was going to be Alex Moreno for Villa, but he joined halfway through the season, so I thought, can he really be in team of the season? But he's been great. He's played 19 games, I think, and they've only conceded 10 goals in that time, and he's also got goal threat. So I can switch him to Moreno if you want.
Oh, a switch on the fly.
A live switch.
I mean, I would recommend you do so because I think Estepinian a lot of people do talk about.
Fair enough.
But you don't have to. It's your team.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's there now. Anyway.
Yeah,
we can't change
now.
it. So
Oh, it's not a live one.
no,
I do
it's
apologize.
not
This one's
live.
not
It's a
live.
picture, but
And it's live.
Great player though.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, it's been great. Midfield, I've gone two holding midfielders. So I've gone Paulinho and Caicedo. They've been the anchors of their teams. I think they're a big reason of why they have overperformed this season, both Brighton and Fulham. Paulinho has made the most tackles in the league. Caicedo has made the second most tackles in the league.
So they both nearly got in my team of the year until I remembered Rodri was a thing,
Yeah.
especially Paulinho.
That's it. Yeah. He's been like essential for Fulham this season. Absolutely.
So I would argue they've got a case of the Estepinians. In that too many people talk about them for them to be underrated, in my humble opinion.
Man.
If you want to have a fight outside Joe, that's fine.
You said Tony was allowed, and I thought he was too obvious.
Caicedo is linked with like £80 million moves to Arsenal. And
Arsenal and stuff.
Yeah,
So-
and they
so
got him
he-
for a
so he is rated.
bargain, didn't they?
He is rated. I don't know. I agree with that they've both been so good this season for their teams, and like you said, they've been crucial to their teams being where they are in the league.
Well, you're going to
leaking
say
their
the same
goals.
about Gibbs-white now as well, aren't you?
No.
He's been essential for Forest as well, especially in this latter half when they've been under pressure fighting relegation. I think he's really pulled through and had like his best performances. He's a big reason of why they've stayed up, I think.
A lot of people throw the transfer fee at Gibbs-White and use that as a reason as to why he's maybe overlooked. So I would argue that being in an underrated team is where he deserves. Underrated even, as I try not to slur like I've been drinking. I haven't been drinking, honestly.
I think the transfer value for Gibbs-White is a bit harsh because it's like 42 million or something mad like that, but it's over like it's in
That's
chunks.
all in, isn't it?
Yeah, so I
All
think the initial fee was like 20, 25.
Yeah, it wasn't too
So when
much,
you
was
think
it?
of it that way, it's not too bad. And if he gets all the bonuses and whatever, then it will go up. But if you look at it as a £25 million signing, he's kept them in the league. He's done his job.
And even at 40 million, the fact that he's kept them in the league, being the linchpin for their attack, it's good money spent, isn't it?
And he's still so young. They'll have him for years.
For the money they'll get for staying up.
How old is he?
He's like 21, 22.
22.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, he's been great this season.
I've just made. I think
I
he
think
is.
it's just a wild.
Here we go. Here we
22
go.
when he signed.
Statman Dan coming in.
Oh.
He's 23.
3.
We were
Owen
close.
Mawson.
We were nearly there. Nearly there.
2 years out.
Might have just had a birthday.
And then your front three, Joel.
Front three. I feel like all my front three have been unlocked this season by a new manager coming in.
Yeah.
So like Eze, Roy Hodgson coming in, I wouldn't have thought it, but he's been on fire since Hodgson's took over. I think he's got 10 goals in the league, and he's looked great all season, to be fair. And I wanted to get Elise in as well because I think he's been great and overlooked. But on the right, I went with Solly March instead.
Yeah.
Unlocked is the right word for him.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been at Brighton for ages and not really done anything, has he? And then De Zerbi's coming in. He looks like a new man.
It's by far his best season, like stats-wise, goals and assists.
Yeah, I think most people would choose Matoma, but he's just the flair.
He's not underrated at all.
Yeah.
He's very
No,
much
yeah.
rated now. After the World Cup especially.
But March has got same amount of goals as him and more assists, and he just creates more. He's created so many chances for Matoma and McAllister. And
the
Ferguson
fact he
on
was
the
one of
right
those
side.
players that were just there and was just like neat
Yeah,
and tidy,
yeah.
wasn't it? Solly March, one of those players that didn't produce anything at the end of moves. He was always just like 5-yard passes and that and the other. 'Cause I know Brighton fans weren't too keen on him up until this season.
he's done nothing really,
Yeah,
hasn't he,
yeah.
until this season. But
He's turned it around.
he absolutely has, yeah. And then same with Ollie Watkins as well. I'd never really rated him, but when Emery took over, he's just been on fire. He went through that period in the middle of the season where he scored like 10 goals in like 12
FPL
games.
must, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have him. But yeah, I think Tony's like the obvious pick behind like Haaland and Kane. So I went for someone a bit more.
I think in terms of
Under the
underrated
radar
11s,
and-
that's the better pick out of him and Tony. Because I think
Yeah.
too many people, he's got case of the Estepinians. Too many people talk about Tony now. He's really good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
he is.
Yeah. I think Watkins has gone on the radar a bit this season.
I mean,
Even though he's dropped off a bit at the end, he hasn't scored in a while now. But
I can't believe Tony's got 20 goals.
Has he actually?
20 goals, yeah.
Wow.
Watkins got 14, I think.
Very good.
Yeah.
Owen,
So that's mine.
Strong team, Joel.
what have you got?
Well, look at the formation, by the way.
Jesus.
Here we go.
3-4.
We're going.
Well, it's a
We're going for the
3-4-3.
jugular. We're going to go for the win every single game with this team and this formation.
That is aggressive.
It is. So 3 at the back. When we looked at the team of the season a few days ago, we all said we're struggling for fullbacks this year, and then I thought let's just eliminate them, let's get them out the way.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the left back I had in was Anthony Robinson of Fulham because I think he's been really good, but he just, although he's good in terms of basic stats, he doesn't offer like the going forward any assists, like nothing really stands out. I didn't want to put Luke Shaw in because I considered him for team of the season, so he's quite rated.
Yeah.
So I didn't put any fullbacks in. I committed to 3 at the back. I'm skipping the goal here. David Raya, for the same reasons Joel said, he's been immense for Brentford. Sorry,
Get out.
I'm looking one ahead. Yeah, he's been immense for Brentford. He's obviously really good at his feet, linked with United. I think he will get a move. If it's not this summer, next summer he will get a
Spurs as
move.
well.
So yeah, Spurs if they get
Replacing
rid of
Love to
Lloris.
see
Lloris.
that.
Do I have any stats that Joel didn't go over? No, I don't. 14 clean sheets, only 46 conceded, which is pretty good for Brentford this season.
I hate when people level that at goalkeepers. Only 46 conceded.
Well,
It's not their fault they can't save.
I
for
was
sure.
also comparing him to Leno as Joel was, and Leno had 50. So that's another reason I went him over Leno.
I think that's more as a defensive unit stat, mate, not just a
Yeah.
goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Can't put it on one.
Like, for
player,
example,
can you?
yeah.
Kane, no keeper saving that last weekend.
Yeah,
in the top
exactly.
bins.
That is fair.
So have a thought for the goalkeeper next
Okay.
time, Owen.
Okay.
Cruel man.
It could have been worse. Back 3, we got same reason as Joel. Do we have all? Yeah, you had all of these.
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah.
So
we haven't looked at each other's teams either.
No, so Ben White, Lewis Dunk, and Ben Mee at the back there. Let's see stats. So Ben White, 8 clean sheets, 2 goals, 5 assists. Lewis Dunk is the captain, so I've got a leader at the back there. 11 clean sheets, 1 goal. And as we were saying before, I think he's surprisingly good with his feet for a big guy. Like, he's really good on the ball. And I don't think when De Zerbi came in, people thought he would be able to play out the back the way Lewis Dunk does. But he can do it. And Ben Mee, I didn't have him down as like a top half Premier League centre-back. Obviously, he went down with Burnley last season. I thought that was like his level, like relegation battle and centre-back. But he's done really well coming into Brentford, so I had to get him in there.
He would be Mike Bassett's England captain, I think, Ben Mee.
He's a really good player. And he is captain material. He was captain at Burnley, I think, for a bit.
Pontus Janssen is the captain for Brentford. I just looked.
He
Janssen.
doesn't ever play, though, does he? I think it might be a case of the club captain versus on pitch. He rarely plays, does he? Pontus Janssen.
No, I don't think so.
It's always
Not this
Ethan
season.
Pinnock at the back with Ben Mee and
Ben Mee,
that Danish fella. I've forgotten his name.
Ben Mee, by the way, also has a goal threat, 2 assists and 3 goals
Wow.
from Ben Mee.
It's large.
It is large.
Mm.
12
Uh,
appearances
they all
for
headers.
Janssen, yeah.
Yeah.
Rarely plays.
So going into midfield now, Eze is controversial here. I've got him in centre mid.
Yeah, that's not where he plays.
No, I checked transfer market. Transfer market have him down as
That's
attacking mid
historically, though.
or centre mid. Well, no, I checked. Since the Hodges come in, he's played both.
But
Yeah.
I'd say left is more his position.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's why he's been picked for England.
transfer market says AM or CM in like since the Hodges come in. So that's what I based it off.
Contentious Owen Mawson. I can see the comments
Well,
on
I know.
fire.
What did we say in the team of the season one? What did we say team of the season? You had Saka
Wow.
on the left.
Yeah, that
you
was
know, you got to
outrage.
fit people in where you
But
can.
it's wingers, though. They always go
Jamie
like that, don't they?
Carragher had Holland left wing.
I know he did. That was scandalous. That.
Scandalous.
There's a line you can go to, and Carragher's leapt over that like Holland.
So Eze, I think he's been amazing since the Hodge Roy has took over. Roy Hodgson. So he's got 10 goals, 4 assists, and I've got here he's scored with both feet and his head. So he's a
Versatile.
he could do anything.
He's a professional
He
footballer.
could do whatever you want. He's good with his left, good with his right, good with his head. Paulinia up there. He's got 3 goals as a defence mid, which is impressive. But he's got also 3,000 minutes. The lad is never injured.
Has he played every game?
3,000 minutes. The only player more, the only person to get more is Leno in goal
Wow.
for Fulham. So he's never injured and he's been immense for them. I think you said earlier, most tackles in the league.
Yeah.
Solly March, right mid, same reasons as Joel. It's his best season by far in the Prem with Brighton. 7 goals, 7 assists, and he's got 17 big chances created, which is a lot. 17. I compared it with some other wingers for that right position, and they didn't have anywhere near. So Solly March gets in there. Harvey Barnes on the left. Now, this is my probably most controversial shout because as a unit, Leicester have been shocking. Leicester have been obviously likely to go down. But Harvey Barnes, he's had his by far best season.
He's kind of been their main goal scorer this season.
He's got 12 goals, only the 1 assist.
12?
12 goals in the Barclays.
Not
even all comps. So he's the only bright spark in Leicester's season, Harvey Barnes, which is a shame for them because he'll probably get a move this summer. But he's
up here, apparently.
He's been linked with Newcastle. He's also been linked with Villa and West Ham recently. So he'll be getting a big move probably I've seen transfer values of like 50 million for him.
50 million.
I mean,
5-0.
I mean, when you look at 12 goals in a shocking team,
50 million. How old is he? He must be mid to late 20s.
He's 25.
Is he 20? Wait, 50.
24, 25. Liverpool
50.
were linked with him a few years ago, and I wasn't sure back then. But he's done really good at Leicester this season, and he probably has earned a move. 25.
Yeah, him and Maddison are definitely going out there.
Yeah, I think if Harvey Barnes ends up at Newcastle, I think he's a really good signing.
It's a step up from what we've got. Like
anyone in the top half. Like besides like City would have him, I think.
I mean, step up from what we have on the bench. He's not getting Isak out the team.
12 goals from the wing, though. That's good.
He's not getting Isak out the team. Come on.
Yeah, true. Isak's class. Morgan Gibbs-White, same reason as Joel said earlier. Since in the latter half of the season, he's been outstanding. He's kept them up almost single-handedly. I got it here. 1 second. Slack's closed itself. He has 5 goals, 7 assists, 9 big chances created. And it's his personal best. Obviously, he was at Wolves last season, so that's his personal best this season. So I think he's been immense keeping Forest in the league. Ollie Watkins up front, 14 goals. And I think he's class. I don't think it's his best goal scoring season, or I think he's at least equaled it. But I love watching him play. Like, I hate watching him against Liverpool because I think he's going to score every game, and he usually does against us, to be fair.
Surprisingly good with his head as well, isn't he?
He is. He's quick. He could play on the wing as well. So I almost had him on the left, but then I thought, no, I'll have him up front. Yeah. So
fuming.
Ollie Watkins, I think he's a really good player. And Callum Wilson, is he underrated? Callum Wilson, I don't know if he.
I reckon if you said to someone he scored, was it 18?
18 goals in the league.
They would be shocked.
Yeah, but no one's talking about him. No one's talking about him for team of the season.
No.
And are Newcastle fans talking about him as much as Isak?
No. Well, it's odd because
Isak's only got 10 goals.
The new flashy player.
That's what I mean.
Isak went through a good run of form, and then we played Southampton at home, and we're 1-0 down at half-time with Isak starting and Wilson on the bench.
Right, yeah.
Eddie Howe brought on Wilson to play with Isak off the left, and we won the game 3-1. But since then, it's not really worked. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
We'll appreciate Wilson.
Wilson seems to play better when he comes off the bench, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, 18 goals, 3 of them were pens. He's got 5 assists. I've also got written down here that he missed the start of the season with a hamstring injury. He missed like 4 or 5 games, so he's played a lot less minutes than a few other strikers.
I mean, that's his problem, isn't it? He's always injured.
Yeah, injury. But it's his best. It's his best record of goals in the Prem. Like it beats his records with Newcastle previously and Bournemouth. So, and Ollie Watkins missed the England squad as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wilson's in it, isn't he?
Ollie Watkins didn't make it.
That's fair enough.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we
think
do have a lot
class.
going forward in terms of like wingers and versatility. And he only plays Kane up front, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's my team. Ross,
I'm opening the
show us
laptop.
what you've got.
I've got a document of statistics to back up my argument here.
Here we go.
There we go. David Reyes in goal, 11 clean sheets, great with the ball at his feet. We'll get a big move in the summer. Great shot stopper. Been in the Spain squad recently instead of De Gea, to show you how far he's come. He's got the best save success rate in the Premier League this season of goalkeepers with 30-plus appearances. 75.3% of shots at him, Owen, he has saved. I might have copied and pasted straight off Twitter, which is why it's got little medallions next to them.
I was going to give you so much credit for that.
It's not my work.
Ross has made medal emotes and everything.
Yeah, it's got nice little clip-art medallions next to them. But if you're interested, Bernd Leno was second with 74.2, Alisson third with 70.8. So there you go. That's why David Reyes in there. Ben White, I just think when you think of him, he's a centre-back, but he's been playing largely at right-back this season. We've talked about him earlier. It's all self-explanatory. Mark Gehi is one of the most underrated centre-backs in world football, never mind just the Premier League. For this season, season, 36 games he's played. He's won possession 152 times, which is the most in the league in the defensive third.
That's very good.
If someone gets in defensive third, you want Mark Gehi to be there. Again, with Harry Maguire having taken up a seat in the England squad, even though he shouldn't have it, in my opinion anyway, he keeps getting in there. And there's a reason for that. Roy said, if you're not picking Mark Gehi for England, you shouldn't be England manager.
There you go.
What more do you need to say right there? Palace were rotten at the start of the season, but he again was one of the standouts. And I just think nobody talks about him, even for England. Like, you just don't know he's there.
Yeah.
You think,
Class player, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. Ben Mee is the best player in the world. 41 blocks this season, 115 clearances, 199 duels won, 132 aerial battles won, plays every week, leader, first season at Brentford, 36 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. He's the best in the world. And me left back is the contentious one, everybody.
Luke
Yeah.
Shaw.
If you read the top there, it says Ross's underrated team of the season. And after my team of the season went live this week, and all the comments were about Luke Shaw, clearly, in my opinion, he's very underrated, if that makes any sense.
It does.
I don't rate him as high as everybody else in the world does.
Although,
so
if
Yeah,
you're
fair
saying
enough,
Joel
yeah.
can't have Estepinian,
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. I'm glad Shaw's in there because he probably is deserved. United's finished third and 17 clean sheets or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't think Luke Shaw's more underrated than Estepinian.
in
think,
my
Luke-
team, he is. In
Oh.
our collective team, he might be.
Right, okay.
But in my team, it says Ross at the top there, so that's why he's in there. Not because I was struggling to think of anybody else. Because again, I was going to put Estepinian there, but I saw either Neville or Carragher, whoever it was. Everyone mentions them, so I was like, oh god, we're struggling here.
Yeah, I didn't realize
This
that.
I'm not going to
Why?
put Dan Burn in
just,
there. For
Just
example.
eliminate fullbacks.
Yeah.
Just get them gone.
That's what I probably should have done. Anyway, Paulinho is in there from Fulham. No, he's not.
No,
I've
he's
changed
not.
my mind, haven't I?
Oh my
I
God.
did have Paulinho in there, but then I changed my mind to a man that nobody talks about in terms of any teams of the season. He is the man who makes Newcastle tick. He's the man who, you know that song, you don't know what you got till it's gone. That is him. He is the man, Sean Longstaff, who allows Bruno, Joe Linton and Joe Willock and other midfielders who play for Newcastle to do the things they do. When he goes missing, the balance is completely off. He is the man who leads the high press, who many people have, well, I think universally Newcastle have been praised for this season. Brighton got scared of it. They got terrorised at St James's Park a couple of weeks ago. He's the guy who leads that, even though he wasn't playing that game. But that's besides the point. He's got one hell of a ping on him. Got a lovely range of passing. 34.09 passes a game, which is higher than the average for the league. 141 recoveries, which is what displays the high press and how he leads it. He's got an engine for days. Adding a couple of more goals to his game this season in the Cups, but I thought I'd mention it just for the sake of my argument. And he's one of those players who was there under Bruce. He said about Steve Bruce that he didn't feel like he got coached for 2 years while Steve Bruce was there. But he's one of the-
Poor Steve.
No, not poor Steve. He's a tosser. Arsehole. Bacon. Man. He's the bacon man.
What's the bacon, did you say?
Yeah, shut up, Steve. But yeah, he's one of the prime examples of players who have just come on leaps and bounds under Eddie Howe. You couldn't imagine Sean Longstaff being a mainstay in a team who are third in the league. So that's why he's in there over Paulinho, who I did have in there. But I thought he's got a case of the Estepinians. Ignore Luke Shaw. Too many people talk about him.
You know what? You know what? He's a great shout.
I just think
Because where Newcastle are in the league, no one's talking about
they
them.
wouldn't be there without him there. It's weird to say because of how useless. Because he had that half season under Rafa when that summer after that half season he was getting linked with Man United for like 50 million or something, and that didn't happen. Bruce comes in and he went missing because he wasn't getting coached,
Yeah.
and now he's getting coached again, and he's come back to what he was when Rafa was there. Pascal Gross is.
He's a great player.
He's not going to get the move now. He probably should do because he's 31. But this season, 36 appearances, 9 goals. He seems to do everything for Brighton, whether it be going forward with attacking set pieces, going back in the centre of the park. He seems to just be up and down all day long. I don't know what you say about him.
That's it. He's versatile. And
Yeah.
He can play anywhere.
He's,
Go
a,
anywhere,
he's a
can't
really decent player. Like you said, he's with the age he's at now. Brighton is probably going to be his ceiling in the Premier League. But
Yeah.
he is a class player.
And it's amazing to think he was there since they got promoted. That summer they got promoted, he was one of their first signings when they got
Wow,
into the
yeah.
Premier League. So he's done the time. And again, much like Solly March, as Joel said earlier, he's been unlocked. I mean, I think he was more like universally credited than Solly March was.
Yeah,
I think he's
think
got
so.
new levels this season under De Zerbi. Solly March, 33 games, 7 goals, which is more goals than all of his other Premier League seasons combined. No goals last season in the league, then 2, working my way backwards, 2-0-1-1. So he's way more effective under De Zerbi. As I said earlier, just one of those players you used to classify as like neat and tidy, keeps the ball, retains possession, but now he's got that cutting edge to him. 69 accurate long passes this season. Nice. And let's just forget about that penalty he missed in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Don't have to mention that. This is about the Premier League.
Yeah.
But I just did. But there you go. Morgan Gibbs-White, we've spoken about a lot. I think he's one of those players that, when people say like Hatton Ben Arthur, baller, the streets remember him.
Are the streets going to remember Morgan
In
Gibbs-White?
years to come, they
Oh
will,
my
yeah.
God.
We've mentioned the 42.5 million all in that Forest signed him for, but as Owen said, it's more like 25, like what they paid him for him last summer. The 5 goals and 7 assists. The game that really got me was Arsenal at home last weekend. Him going more like he got a case of the Pascal Grosses. Forwards and backwards, he was doing everything.
I feel like that was the game when everybody realised, oh, he's decent, this lad.
Class,
like
yeah.
he's actually worth the money.
Yeah, especially now they've stayed up and the money that will generate.
Yep.
Eze, it's a shame we're shooting this just after the England squad got called up because more people obviously talking about him now. Before that, were they? I don't know if they were. I think people were, but I don't think they were in terms of like
very recently. I think.
Yeah.
I watched the 4-3 win against West Ham on BT a few weeks ago, and he was so good in that game.
Yeah,
he was ridiculously good. Hodgson's just got them playing. I don't know how.
It's sexy
You
football in the why.
Associate, would you?
Is he actually? Do you think he's doing it? Is he just sat
he's
there,
the face of it.
sunglasses on, feet
Yeah.
up, just watching?
He's just like, I'm in my retirement years now. What's the point in
he's
doing
got them-
tactics?
he's-
Just go and have a laugh.
Yeah.
man.
He's got them
Yeah.
playing immense, incredible football, and Eze, he's similar to March. He's been unlocked.
I did watch that thing with Steve Parish on the overlap with Gary Neville. And he was like, why do you bring Roy back? He's like, the players love him.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, why didn't that work with England then? Anyway.
or Liverpool.
Or Liverpool, yeah. Or Blackburn Rovers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. 37 games, 10 appearances. 37 games, 10 goals, 4 assists. Another one of those players I think the streets will remember in 10 to 25 years' time. I don't know why I said 10 to 25.
Still
but
quite
there we
young
go.
as well.
And I hope that people don't judge him off this current England games against North Macedonia and Malta, because the way Gareth sets us up, it's not made for
He'll be playing left wing back.
an attacking midfielder like he is. So just don't base him off those games. He's fantastic. And then centre forward, I had Tony first and foremost, then I thought Estepinians. People talk about him.
Yeah.
And I had Watkins, then as has been displayed by this video, a lot of people talk about him. So I put Mitrovic in there because this season it feels like he's really come of age at Fulham. 14 goals has really sort of answered all the questions of can he play at this level? Obviously, he had that record-breaking season in the Championship. 14 goals this time, just to work your way back through his numbers in the Premier League. 9 for that season at Newcastle, then for Fulham, 1, then he had 11 in lockdown, I think, then 3, then this season he's got 14. And I just think his big ban came at the wrong time for a lot of people to put him in there, like the conversation for Team of the Year, and with Holland and Kane and people like that.
Yeah.
But that big ban he got just when spring was kicking off, I think that sort of took him away from people's focus. And I just think his all-round game, watching Fulham at the odd occasion this season, has just come on leaps and bounds from when he was at Newcastle, when I saw him most, because all he was worried about back then was hurting people. And now he doesn't do that. He actually plays football and gets involved in the build-up and stuff, and is quite clever in how he wins. Sort of like what Harry Kane does for Spurs in England, like winning like territory, I think they call it, getting his team up higher up the pitch, and obviously the goals as well. He's got a wonderful header last weekend.
I think you are right. People have forgotten about him since the ban.
Yeah.
He got 14 goals, same as Ollie Watkins, who we had in our teams. And if he didn't have that 8 games? 8-game ban.
8-game ban, yeah. For going like that.
If he didn't have that 8-game ban, he could have killed somebody with that.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that 8-game ban, he could be nearing 20. And
Yeah,
then people
would be
would be talking about him a lot
definitely.
more. So I do feel for him a bit. They just need to rein it in a little bit next season. Just calm down a little bit.
Calm down.
Calm down.
You went there.
Calm down.
I didn't say it first, you did.
But he'll be. I think he's a brilliant player, and yet, like you said, it's his coming of age season in the Prem, and then let's see if he can carry it on next season and keep his head.
Keep his head.
Keep his head.
While all those around you do other things like Rajaj Kipling or whatever he was called said in that little rhyme. If read out by Des Lynam. Wonderful. That was a stream of consciousness there. It's a wonderful. You should listen to it.
Over my head.
I listened to it before coming to work. It gets me ready for the day. Anyway, there's my team. Let's try and have a fight now and work out our collective underrated 11 of the 2022-2023 season.
Here
The
we go.
goalkeeper is the easiest one.
Yeah.
Did we all go Raya?
We all went with Ryan.
Yeah, we all went with him, so it's got to be. Right back was the same, I think, Ben White.
So,
So
are we going for at
What
the back?
formation?
Should we go before at the back and then as we work our way through, make the call?
I'm just thinking we could get 2 strikers on if we have 3 at the back.
We could get 2 strikers on if we have 4 at the back.
Or 4-4-2. But
You're
we
both
all,
right.
but we did all have an attacking mid.
If we have 1 at the back, we could have 2
Oh,
strikers.
that's use that.
I don't know what we do here. Do we go without
Thing is-
Estepinian because it's?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
'Cause you can't be
If he
sure.
is-
I
if
know
he is
that.
rated.
I'm not offended. I just thought I'd put him in there just to go like that.
Yeah,
Everybody
I'm
was
not sure
like,
we can have Shaw. We'll give him a shout. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Who else is there at left back who you can choose? Really,
Your lad at Aston Villa would be the one, I think.
Moreno.
Hmm?
I think he has been really good.
He has been really
He
good.
hasn't played. He's only played half a season. So does he qualify?
But he's kicked Luca Digne out the team.
But has he been better than Ben Mee, Dunk,
Yeah, but we're talking about.
the Palace? What's the Palace centre half called? I forgot his name.
Mark Gehi.
Yeah, Gehi.
Oh, so you're on about 3 at the back.
I think Ben Mee's a no-brainer. So I think he goes in there, whatever we do. I think
I'd
he's
agree.
so underrated. And he's,
I thought Lewis Dunk was until I saw you didn't go for him.
I just
was
think he's
surprised.
another one of the Estepinians. Like, a lot of people recognise him
yeah.
as a good player and maybe give him the plaudits he deserves. Whereas
Yeah.
Ben Mee gets bugger all. Sean Dyche picks him because he's English.
He's a leader of
Thomas
men.
Frank's Danish, so,
Yeah.
Where's that one gone? So we just work out positions that are nailed on and then work out the formation
Sure.
from there.
Polinia? Or is he too rated?
Ooh, it
Is he
depends where we
too
want to go, because
rated?
we can either go with him or Sean Longstaff, who is completely underrated. I think a lot of people talk about Polinia. Like,
Yeah.
for example, in the comments of our video the other day, there was at least 2 going, "Where's Polinia?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't talk about him. He nearly made mine, but Rodri's just better, isn't he?
he is. He is right
Yeah,
now.
It's
He
hard
is.
to argue with that.
I didn't realize as well. Polinia, he's 27, so he's
He's been
already
around,
going
yeah.
into his prime. I didn't realize he'd been around for so long already, even though it's only his first season in the Prem.
It cost
So,
quite a bit, didn't he? I think.
not too much,
What was it?
About 20, 25.
Ah.
Obviously, if you get
Have you plucked that from your arse?
no transfer market.
Ah.
When I-
Ah.
The place
got all
that
the
said Eze is a
stats.
centre midfielder. Game over. 20 million.
20 million.
Fair enough, Owen.
Damn it, you were right.
so if he gets a move to like a Champions League level team, he's going to be upwards of 50. You'd have to, I think. Anyway, I'm going off topic.
Yeah,
just
so
talking
is
about
it-
his transfer value.
Is he underrated?
People do rate him because, like you said, people are commenting about him.
It's hard to define, isn't
It
it?
is a hard thing to define, and I'm sure the comments will be very understanding, whoever we go for.
Yeah.
I know one name that's definitely on the sheet. Solly March.
Solly March on the right,
Let's just
I
get
agree with
Solly
that. I
March
think
in.
he is underrated.
and I think
yeah.
Eze on the left.
This season he's underrated.
Eze on the left.
Yeah, Eze can play on the left.
I don't think Harvey Barnes is quite what Eze. Or is has
I
Harvey
quite-
Barnes done it longer?
12 games.
quite like the
12
Harvey
goals.
Barnes pick.
You know
Harvey
what? He's done it longer than
Barnes.
Eze, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's go Harvey
I
Barnes
think
on the
he's had a
left.
good season.
I just
They've been
think-
relying on him
yeah.
for goals.
I
haven't they,
never
when
even considered him, so that
I think the
Vardy's
fact
been out in
the fact that Harvey Barnes has had his best ever season in this shocking Leicester team shows quite a lot about him.
shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. That's just how it's over us. Just gonna have to roll with it.
Yeah, but you know, Harry Enfield though, Harry Enfield made it a thing.
When I get passionate, get high pitched. Right, and I'm passionate about Harvey Barnes. Okay, so
That's the first time anybody ever has said that.
Harvey Barnes.
what about his misses?
Oh, no. I didn't mean to go that deep.
Right, we've got centre mids. Who are we thinking?
Well, we've got Gross, Longstaff, Paulinia. Who else? Oh, God.
Gibbs-white.
Gibbs-white.
Caicedo.
Can't put Caicedo.
No,
Alright.
Caicedo can't.
I like the gross pick.
Ooh. He likes the dirty stuff, does Joe?
I do. Because he's just been so versatile, hasn't he, this season? I think he's played at left back at one point. He's played
Yeah.
centre mid, he's played up top.
Let's go with Gross
Number
for one of
10.
them. You just put
Gio.
GROSS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Grob.
Grob.
Getting it right.
So we're not. So if we stick with 2 up front at the minute, we're not going to get Morgan Gibbs-white in.
Or does he go in? I mean, his role for Forest and keeping them in the league where they were at one point of the season is very admirable.
He has kept. Yeah, he's kept them up at a crucial time of the season when if they would have lost a few points here and there, they could have been in real trouble.
Real trouble.
Real trouble.
Real trouble. Good Lord. Let's work out the defence, right? Are we going 3 at the back? Let's get that sorted. Are we going 3 at the back? I'm happy to go 3 at the back.
Yeah, it'd make it easy,
I'm
wouldn't it?
one for free.
The obvious one for left back after our discussion is Moreno from Villa, but is he worthy of team of the season?
Yeah.
Because he has been there for half a season.
Has anyone got? We haven't looked at the stats either.
We don't need to look
Yeah.
at the stats. We've got the stats we need. We've got one. We've got either Lewis Dunk, Mark Gehi, I think would be the 2 to pick from.
Yeah, in terms of underrated, yeah, I'm happy for that.
For
Because
Gehi.
Who are you picking then?
Gehi.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm,
go
I'm
Gehi.
happy with that, yeah.
We'll go Gehi because
Yeah, Dunk's just got a call up for England. Everyone's talking about him being incredible this season, so let's get Gehi in.
Yeah.
let's get the Gehi in.
I am into it.
He's into the Gehi. Right. What formation are we going for then? We've got 3 at the back. 3-5-2.
Yeah, 3-5-2.
That's a weird setup for a 3-5-2.
Maybe drop the wingers back down
Drop
to the halfway line. So 3-4.
3-4-1-2.
Oh.
What is this?
Oh
Owen?
my God.
When have you ever seen a
God,
real life
out of
manager play
control.
that?
It's one of the formations on the website. That's where I came up with it.
Oh yeah, let's trust buildlineup.com of an actual football manager.
Tactical masterclass.
Right.
No goals being leaked in here.
So we can get Gibbs-white in
We
here.
can get Gibbs-White in that cam, yeah.
Yeah.
The cam role. Gibbs-White.
See, the reason I want this formation, right, because there's a discussion to be had for the two up top. You've got Watkins, Wilson, Mitrovic, all options.
See, I don't think Wilson. If we're comparing those things,
Those three
human
things,
being
yeah.
boys, I think Wilson isn't as underrated as the other two.
I agree. Yeah.
So I think that rules Wilson out. So I think
Yeah.
the other two get in by
I'm-
default.
Yeah.
I think Mitrovic should get in.
I like the idea of, well, in a game scenario, a big man, little man up front, Mitrovic knocking it onto Watkins.
Watkins is a big
Remember-
boy.
Yeah, but he's pacey.
He's a big
Remember
boy.
at the start of the season when Mitrovic was just bullying everyone?
He's a
That Liverpool game at home.
Yeah, first game of the season.
yeah.
He
did well, didn't he?
Vietnam flashbacks.
So now we've got the call to make in centre midfield. We've got Paulinho, we've got Longstaff, we've got Caicedo's been ruled out. Too many people talk about him.
It's Paulinho or Longstaff or Eze, but
No, it's
Eze.
not Eze. It's
not
Jamie
Eze.
Carragher.
It's not Eze.
It was Eze or Barnes. We went for Barnes.
Well, I'd say Paulinho's been the better player this season, but
More people have talked about him. But I'll go with Paulinho because he's been more. I think he's more crucial. No, he's not because
I think
Longstaff's we're so unbalanced when he's not there. We're too top heavy when he's not there. I'll go Paulinho. We'll go Paulinho.
Paulinho. Yeah,
We'll go Paulinho. Even though more people talk about him than Longstaff.
you know what?
Bit of resentment there.
I like the more discussion though to be had on this team than the team of the season. Team of the season, we're just like, oh, he's good, get them all in. But with this, we've got a lot more options because we've looked.
There's been a lot of good
we've
players
looked
this
a bit
season.
lower down in the table.
That's a
from the
weird
lower
ass
teams,
formation, that like.
Well, what I mean, you could drop Paulinho as a DM, and
That's
then
even weirder.
and then put Gibbs-White. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
this is strange.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we're all
God.
over the
Oh,
shop.
we
God,
don't
what
know.
have we done?
That's a defensive formation.
What you got to do?
Stat man
Oh,
down. What do you think?
that is. We can't put that as a screenshot as our team of the season.
No, maybe.
Push
That
the
is
wingers
not
up.
real. Push the wingers up.
push the wingers up. There you go.
Perfect.
That is not real either.
I think the way it was is probably the realistic can get.
Yeah, the way it was. Gibbs-White in behind the two strikers and then a flat four in the middle.
Tactical
I
genius.
guess it's a
here.
3-4-3 with the ball, and then without the ball, it's a 3-5-2.
That's a bit crazy. That Dan.
Bring those wingers.
Bring those
back.
wingers
Bring
back.
those wingers back. and let's
They need to
end
try
the video.
Oh, you know what? Harvey Barnes and Solly March, they'll track
It's
back.
got
They're
long enough.
battlers.
We
They
went
will.
too
They'll
long
work
here.
out.
Oh my God, it's nearly 40 minutes.
Right.
Right,
Yes,
okay.
we've gone way too long. So thank you for watching. You're not watching by now, so we can say anything we want. Yeah, we're not going to do that though, because otherwise it'll get kicked off YouTube. I've been Ross, joined by the Sausage King, and up to Joel. Thank you to Statman Dan behind the camera. That is our wiggledy-piggledy formation. Let us know how wrong we are down below. Bye-bye.